Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thank you so much for joining me here. Hope you're having an amazing day. We're taking another look here at BCH, Bitcoin Cash. This is it's a coin that I get so many requests on. It's crazy, awesome, up 100% from this point in which we expected the price to recover, but not this strong, right? We expected a retest of this level, but once it broke through that resistance at 136, completely took off. So congrats to our community members and whomever else also got in on this one. We're going to see if it's a good opportunity for a short position right now, because obviously it's overextended, but we got to be careful trading into an overextension like this because it has a lot of magnitude. And of course, the overall sense here is that it's pretty well. It's pretty strong, right? But it does look like it's overextended. We're going to talk about that. Okay, so we're going to draw out some new Fibonacci retracement levels, kind of see what's going on here. If you are new to the channel, keep in mind I love teaching people to trade. I truly hope you can learn something here today. And if you do, comment below, like, subscribe, follow the whole 9 yards. Help us grow our trading account here as well over at Cash Trading on our Twitter, and effectively become a better trader. We got lots of cool information on there, technical, fundamental data, keeping you abreast, and great way to communicate with our members too. So a lot easier than this YouTube channel, for example, right? If you ever try to communicate through YouTube, there's a significant delay there. All right, so Bitcoin Cash, what are we looking at here? Well, let's look at the daily and work our way down, right? So first of all, the Fibonacci levels that I drew out was the most recent low to the yesterday's high, or basically the most recent high. You do not want to include, by the way, I get this question a lot, you do not want to include today's candlestick yet because it hasn't closed. Okay, so we've got 7.5 hours left on this candle, and it's one of those things where we're just going to have to wait for that to close before we can update it. But this does give us some good information that we are between this 0.236 and this zero level here, essentially. 190 to 220 is probably a fairly normal range that we're going to be within unless we see a significant retracement. Probably not, because you can see that the price wicked up here and we got this nice little higher low pattern there. We'll talk about that on smaller time frames, but for now, let's look at this here. So I've got my stochastic and my RSI kind of overlapped here. But to make it a little simple here, RSI is extremely overextended, but it's still above 70. And a lot of times it can stay above this level for some time, but you got to keep in mind it can only do that for so long. Okay, so it makes sense for us to see a breakdown in the near future here with this coin. I think it's likely to see the price pull back. I wouldn't say it's going to drop like a rock, but it's often common for the price to retrace down to the 0.5 Fibonacci retracement level. Okay, so in other words, we could very well see this hit the 0.5 Fibonacci. Okay, that being said, 155 could be a potential target. I think that's less likely, but it's still a reality considering that was one of the more recent highs where the candle wicked up to that. Okay, all right, so just something to think about. That being said, MACD is still converging. There's a lot of reasons not to take a short position into this, but it's also kind of prime for the picking too. And we'll talk about that here in a moment, but what we're looking at here overall is just a significant overextension. There's no other way around it, okay? Now, when you work with overextension like this, you want to be careful not to get too hasty. You want to wait for confirmation. And to me, confirmation comes in a lot of different ways. At this point here, we can kind of see that we are in a situation where 220 is the resistance level, right? So we can see the price wicked up there. And of course, we're closing tentatively there. So this, you see here, even though we wicked up above, we are still closed that candle below that. So every 4-hour candle cannot close above that level so far. That being said, 220 is likely a strong resistance. We got to respect that. If we take a look at other factors here, we can see that RSI is also trending above 70. And we have a potential MACD convergence. Now this could be an MACD-FU. That's what I like to call it when they kind of bounce off each other, go the opposite direction. When it's supposed to converge, it doesn't, and it turns itself around. Just keep in mind, until this actually converges and closes above, it's not a true convergence. Okay, so I get that question a lot too, like, should I buy in right now because it's converging? No, wait for it to converge. That's where confirmation comes into play. We don't have confirmation we've closed above that resistance at 220, nor do we have confirmation that we've converged on the MACD. Okay, again, just some friendly advice there. Those are all things I teach in my Trading Academy, and you can learn as much as you can. If you're already currently a community member, don't hesitate to go to the website and use my Trading Academy and make sure you learn from that. I've got a lot of good information there. Specifically examples like this that I'm talking about. That being said, we're still above the 20-day SMA, so if we look at this ascending trend, we got to respect the fact that we are likely still going to ascend and continue higher until we don't. Now again, ascending trends will continue until they don't. I know that seems very redundant, but it's the truth in most cases, and the 20-day SMA is kind of one of those things that gives you an indication if you're on the right side of those tracks or not. Okay, so to make it simple and easy, the 20-day simple moving average would be the first case in point where you may want to consider a short if we come below this level. But for right now, it might be best to not short into it just because there's still a lot of strength here. That being said, moving averages are basically telling us that we're on the right side of the track. So in truth, even though we are overextended, we have this nice continuation upwards, and we got to respect that until it breaks. Okay. So once more, the price could come down like this and bounce and continue higher. If it does, then it's still ascending positively. We want to wait and see what the 20-day estimate tells us. All right, so we're looking good there. Now for the hourly, let's take a quick peek here and see what's going on. So for the 1 hour, this is an important indication here for me. We're looking at the Ichimoku cloud. We are all green lights here to keep your long position open if you have one. I would recommend, of course, maybe considering taking some profit just because that momentum isn't very strong considering we just had one strong candle upwards. Keep in mind that candle did break this resistance here, so that's likely why we saw somewhat of a short squeeze. But the bottom line is that if the price were to come down, I think 213 to 215, right in this range here, would be an appropriate target for a short if you were to take one, based on the simple fact that we have this previous resistance level and the price had trouble at roughly about 215. So to me, a profit target would be 215 or lower. That would be my thoughts there. Okay. All right. Now, let's talk a little bit about this overextension. So TD sequential is going to tell us we're at a 6 right now. Hypothetically, we've got another 4 4-hour candles, or 3 to 6 4-hour candles. So we're somewhere in the range of like 12 to 24 hours of continuation higher from here. Now, there's no guarantees that's going to happen, but there's a good chance that the price action could continue to run as we continue to retest these levels. Okay, a lot of times you can see these ascending trend breakouts that occur when you continue to retest those levels. Okay, so again, there is no guarantee the price is going to continue higher, but there's a decent probability that it's going to try for the next 12 to 24 hours. Okay. Now, if we take a look at the 15-minute time frame, this is where things get kind of interesting. I like to look at this here and kind of see. So we're looking at stochastics coming down. We also saw this rejection of the price action continue lower. RSI is below 70. So in truth, if you hadn't taken your profits from your long position, you should have by now, because that's a firm indication that we are shifting momentum. We also have a pretty strong MACD divergence here. So to me, at this point, if we lose 217, it's going to probably be a free fall down to the 215, 213 range, possibly even lower. But once again, the most recent high is going to probably work as the most recent, the newest low. Okay, so this is an area we want to look out for. Once again, 214.85, round number 215. That is an excellent profit target there for this trade if you're to consider a short position. I personally got in at about 221, and I'm expecting the price to continue down a little bit lower. Once again, you can follow me on my copy trading on BingX. Again, Crypto Cash, you can find me on there and effectively follow my trades if you want, but more importantly, just to kind of see what's going on, and really awesome. So yeah, 218, we're coming down. I think it's pretty likely we're going to see the price continue lower, potentially bounce off this level. So in summary, if we close below 215 today, I think there's a good chance we're going to see the price continue lower. If we bounce off 215, we could very well see the price come up. It may not even come down that low, honestly. This could really sustain itself where it's at. But once again, you want to be careful and be sure that you are cautious of this trading, because I mean this thing is jumping around a lot. I mean, look at this here. Before I started this video, it was 2% higher, and it's already just moving. But we are establishing lower lows and lower highs here. And again, we lose this 217 range. 215 is an obvious next target. All right, well, I hope this was beneficial for you. Thank you again for watching and learning. I hope that you did learn something here today. You want to become a better trader, again, cryptocash.tech is a site. Looks like this here. In fact, this is our Discord. We took a nice 20% profit yesterday in 8 hours from our Bitcoin trade, our Bitcoin short, from 30,600 down to 30,000 even. Okay, so we still got that trade open. I'm confident that Bitcoin will continue to break down. And at this point, I'd expect that to continue to happen. So hopefully this made sense, and I thank you so much for watching. Have yourself a great rest of the day. We'll see you in tomorrow's video. Take care.